All right. So here we are. We are ready for a one shot of Zweihander. I hope I'm saying that right. Run by Tom. We have a few players who have never played before, including myself. I don't think Brett has played, and actually, has anyone played?
Nope. We got an all noob game on purpose.
Oh
I got
snap!
players who have never played before.
See, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So we can just flub up the rules and have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so take it away, Tom. I don't have anything else to say.
So as stated, that we are playing Zweihander by Grim and Perilous Games. This is a new system to all of us. I've been learning and watching it for a little bit, but if we mess up anything, it's our first time. We're having fun. And we're going to be playing this particular game in the Warhammer Old World, my own personal home brewing of it. So if there are lore aspects or things like that that are changed, it's just because that's the way I like to play it. So going forward, the basics, super basics of the system is it is a D100 roll under percentile system, where if you roll under, you succeed. So when I'm asking for rolls from players, they're going to be trying to roll under a specific number, and that's about all we are really going to get into on this end. So let's just jump into the game. I've got a good amount planned here. If we can introduce characters as they come into the scene, and I'll kind of indicate who we're talking to here. So we are starting our game in the town of Roche, a small trade post town on a spur of the Great Road that cuts through the largest forest in the Empire, the Drakewald Forest, far to the north. And this town sits in a large meadow in an in-between point. The road cuts through the forest, but there's a miles wide meadow. And this town has been there for centuries at this point. It used to be a logging town, and it has transitioned away from that as it has become a more of an orchard and trade post. As it is a nice little cut through between two major trading arteries of the Empire. The forest has a terrible reputation for all sorts of horrors, and yet this town has been left oddly alone. The imperial circles of who you can call to help for. This town has not called on help in over a century. And we pick up our story in a cold winter's night, the town asleep, as a scream breaks through the night. And quickly following it, the sound of braying and more screams. And within the town, a bell starts to ring. And Juce, it is your character who is first awakened by the sound of screams, strange animalistic cries, and the town bell being rung in the middle of the night. Your eyes snap open, and what do you do?
I will quickly reach for my wooden shield, and I would probably grab probably my dirk because that's a little bit smaller, and my shepherd sling, and obviously I'd have my dirk like strapped to my belt, like I'd quickly lace up my belt and run to the window to see if I can see anything out there in the distance.
You see the streets, people are starting to poke their heads out their doors, similar to you, where there's just kind of a general confusion in the streets and people are looking off and you don't see anything, but the bell is ringing. And if you open your window, you can hear kind of distantly the sounds of braying and screaming coming from seemingly outside the walls, but not very far outside the walls of the town. It's not a very large town.
The animalistic sounds. Is there any idea what creature that might be?
You're pretty aware of the existence of what are known as beastmen, animals or people that have been altered by the ruinous powers into pretty horrible forms, though they haven't been seen in the vicinity of Roche for over a century.
Okay. Do I know roughly where my friends are located?
If you know any of the characters, you would know where they are. I'd say the one that you'd be most likely to know would be Bert, Brett's character.
Bert, okay. So then, yeah, I'd try to throw on my armor real quick. I don't know how long that would take, and grab maybe grab my fire hardened spear as well,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would try to rush over to Bert's place or wherever he's located, and at least buddy up with somebody I might be able to use some tactics with.
All right. So, Bert, you have heard the noise. You're a light sleeper. And it's quickly followed by a knock on the door, and you just know it is that obnoxious teenage kid who grabbed a spear, who carved himself a spear out of a stick and declared himself a militiaman when he was 12. You just know it's him.
Of course, it's that little shit. I'm gonna go to the door before I even open it. Be like, give me a second. I hear it too. Now you can prove that you're a big, strong hero. And I'm gonna start armoring up, pissing and moaning the whole time.
As I'm waiting, I'm like, Bert, hurry up! We don't got much time.
They'll be there. Promise.
I'm gonna be looking back and forth down the street too to see if I see any other familiar faces or see anybody running a certain direction.
The roads are starting to get a little bit fuller as there are people coming out into the streets. There's definitely a sense of panic starting to set in as you see now the legitimate town militia are starting to come out of their houses with like a variety of different weapons heading towards the gates and moving haphazardly. This is clearly not something that is well drilled amongst them or something that they have been practicing for.
Okay. Bert, hurry up! The militiamen don't know what they're doing.
Truer words haven't been ever spoken. I'll finish up and make sure I have my bow and arrows, and I'll tuck away the flintlock pistol just in case, and open the door and look at them with a huff, and let's try to get a better vantage point.
All right, so Bert, leading with a confident but like measured stride, starts leading them through the street, and you go by one of the more popular inns in the town. This town is a stop along this road, so the inn business is one of the central features of the town. As you know, the merchants and their escorts have to stay somewhere. Not all parts of the road are as peaceful as Roche. And there, starting to like poke his head out the window, is a dwarf. Not an uncommon sight in these parts, but a dwarf that you don't know as he is traveling through. So Joe, what is your character doing as he's looking out this window?
He's just gonna peer out and look and see who's headed in the direction of the noise.
There's a smattering of people kind of moving in all directions. You do see one rather like confident but frail looking fellow, like a shade under 6 feet, walking with some confidence, and has some sort of like teenage kid with like a sharpened stick, like following right behind him like a puppy.
You there? What's going on?
The sounds, you hear them?
I do. What's happening?
We don't know. We're going to investigate. Are you equipped to handle combat?
Am I equipped to handle combat?
You are.
Yes. I'll be right down.
Bert, come on, man! Don't undercut me. We gotta bring these guys along.
So I'll make my way down to the street and meet up with them.
All right. You guys easily find your way towards the gates. Outside the gates are most of the militiamen that you saw getting ready. They have formed a block in front of the gate with a bunch of makeshift pole arms. Some of them looking fairly legitimate, some of them looking like farm implements, some of them looking like the sharpened stick that Albert's carrying. And they will occasionally break ranks to allow some of the people from outside the town who are flowing in right now to come in. And occasionally you hear, like, as they're coming through, militiamen calling out, like, what is it? Or what's out there? How many of them? And things like that. But the people are just beating past them into the town.
I'm gonna look to the kid and the new squat fellow and be like, "Wait here. I'm gonna try to see if I can see anything, and I want to try to stealth
Ooh,
to a
okay.
higher
So
vantage point."
go ahead and roll me a stealth check. You are outside the walls, so I will say your rural sensibility comes in, so you can add 20 to your stealth skill.
My stealth skill, then plus 20?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I got an 2.
2. All right. So you guys watch as Bert steps past this pike square, this makeshift pike square, and kind of like takes his wilderness cloak and just kind of like hucks it up and like finds a shadow and just disappears as it is just complete darkness into the night. There's almost no light beyond this point, beyond a few homesteads you can see, because it's all orchards and farms outside the town. Bert, you are the night. Where are you heading?
Not exactly directly towards the sounds, but I probably take a route this way when I'm in near the woods to hunt. So I'm going to try to take up at least a position that I can see any of the beastmen, because I'm guessing that's where they're coming from, is the woodlands.
All right, so you take a circuitous route kind of off to the side towards the forest. And you head past a familiar spot for you, a house that is the home of the village, we'll say like the village healer, the village wise woman. She's been there for a long time. She mixes together concoctions, helps people, maybe crosses a few lines if we were to get some of the Altdorfian witch hunters in town, but this far into Midland, you know, it's just kind of hand wave. She doesn't seem to be doing any harm. And none of her lights are on, but you see movement in her window.
Do I see smoke coming from the chimney?
You do see a little bit of smoke coming from the chimney. And Laura, what is your character doing as a figure is creeping up on her house? I was gonna say, actually, Brett, your stealth roll is high enough. She doesn't know you're coming.
No idea you're coming.
How do you wanna check on her?
I'm gonna wait, and if she actually looks outside, that's when I'll kind of be like, I'll make my presence known.
Okay. So Laura, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your character's name.
It's all right. It's Kirsha.
Kirsha. So what does Kirsha do?
Well, if you're waiting for me to look outside, you're going to be waiting a while. Because Kirsha is hearing the noise, but knowing that she will not be helpful outside. So she is getting all of her bandages set up, and she's starting to boil water on a little fireplace, and she's checking to see which of her blood leeches look the most hungry. And she knows that after you guys get all this settled, people will be coming to visit her, and she needs to be ready for that.
If I notice that she's gathering triage supplies, I'm gonna tap on the window and be like, "Blockade yourself. Fun isn't coming this way."
Well, no, dear. But you'll be coming to see me later. I'll be fine. I'll be here. I'll be ready.
Good luck.
So we're gonna pause here and cut back to Albert. Albert.
So
how disciplined do you stay?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm a young kid. So after waiting for a few seconds, being like, man, what's taking him so long? I turn to this dwarven fellow and I say, I'm going to get up on the wall and just see if I can see something as well. And I start pulling myself up. I'm not trying to be stealthy at all, though. I'm just going to try and athletics it, like grab, pull up, like skip trying to find like stairs or anything. I'm just trying to get up to a higher spot.
All right, go ahead and roll me an athletics check, which is under your brawn.
All right, and so if it's filled in, what does that mean again? It's plus 10.
You add 10, so that bumps you to a 47.
Yeah, I didn't make it. 72.
All right, so Odawan watches this like teenager like try to hop up and pull himself up onto this like rampart they built onto like a palisade, and you just watch him like get finger holds and get partway up, and it freezes about halfway up and starts shaking, and then he just kind of drops down.
That's all right, boy. We all start somewhere.
I tell him my hand slipped. That's all.
No, of course, of course.
One of the militiamen just looks back at you and goes, you could just head out there. There's a farm over that way. We haven't seen them yet.
And I turn to the dwarf to see what he wants to do.
I'll follow your lead.
Shoot. Okay, and then I just go. I start going towards the farm.
All right.
I'll follow.
So, there's no moon tonight, and there are only it's a clear night. It's a winter sky. It's quite cold. And you can see in the starlight the vague outline of a barn. And as you get a little bit closer, you see a ragged line of people. Men. They look like they're like part of the militia, but these are like the real state troop veterans. And they appear to be holding musketry of varying ages and makes, and they're standing kind of a makeshift line. And you see the barn off in the distance has started to catch fire, and you see movement around the barn. This is about like 50 yards away from you.
So they're facing the barn?
They're facing the barn in like a ragged firing line, and you see something moving near the barn.
Is it like a humanoid shape?
Yes, and there's a lot of them. They appear to be moving quite a bit, and as the barn continues to light, it comes into a little bit more clarity. But before we get there, we're going to cut back to Bert trying to convince this old woman to barricade herself in her house or leave. We'll assume that we've missed about like 3 to 4 minutes of this argument. So we'll cut back in. So where are you guys at this point?
I'm just trying to make sure that she doesn't open the door for the first thing that comes up, because it's probably not going to be friendly. And then telling her, if you have anything to poke, what comes through, if it's not friendly, use the pointy end and poke at it until it stops messing with you.
Well, thank you, dear, but you were the first thing to come up, so I think we're okay.
Let's hope it stays that way.
You can see a barn about 70 yards from you that's starting to light on fire.
Don't mind me, and I'm going to try to scramble up to the roof of her house.
Okay.
There's a ladder around the back. Don't step on the
All right. So as the barn continues to go up, the line of state troops, you hear one of them shout, "Give fire!" And a small but well-disciplined volley cracks out into the night. And in the muzzle flash, you see humanoid figures, humans apparently, but they seem to stand on goat, horse, or other types of hooved legs. Fur covers their lower body, but they have heavily muscled upper body with smooth patches of fur and skin. Their posture is slightly hunched, but they're about human-sized, and they have slightly blunted, like buds of horns protruded from their foreheads. The gun volley cuts several down, but the rest let out a braying cry and begin to rush the gap, the 50-yard gap between the barn and our brave Albert and his dwarven friend.
Oh, crap.
So you guys have a group rushing towards you. So we have established our combat order. So we're going to have one round here that is them closing the distance with you guys. So,
Okay.
Bert, these guys are, I'll say with the height that you've gained, what is the range on your weapons? I would say with
Oh,
your
that
bow,
was-
you could be making a long distance shot.
About 42 yards.
Yeah. And I think that's probably going to add about a plus 20 to the difficulty of this.
So instead of my 54, it'll be I need under a 34.
Yes, but you can also use the aim action to negate that.
Let's try to aim, and I'm gonna be
Well,
aiming.
oh, sorry, I've totally blanked. The first up is Juice. Juice, do you have anything that you want to do while they're closing on you? They're running at you, so they're gonna get within what's the range on your Shepherd Sling? They're not gonna be within 8 yards.
So how far away are they?
They are 50 yards, but they're closing. So we'll say they're about 30 yards away at this point.
And I have no idea where Bert went.
No, you have no idea where Bert went.
Okay.
It's you and this dwarven guy and this line of handgunners.
What's the dwarven guy next to me wielding? Like, what's his armor? Does he have armor? Does he have weapons?
At this point, I would be pulling out my flintlock pistol and shakily aiming it at these creatures.
Okay, so I would position myself kind of not necessarily in front of you, but maybe like slightly staggered, like somewhat in front of you, ready to like protect you with my shield if I have to. And I'd have my spear out ready to try and keep things as far away from me as possible.
All right.
I totally would see you directly in front of him.
Nope.
So as these beastmen close, the handgun line has been rapidly reloading. They let loose another volley that cracks out into the night, and you see several of them fall, and a few of them hold up, but a couple keep coming. So the charge is somewhat broken, but you then hear the handgunners then call like, fall back, and they start going back as they need to reload. And now it is just Albert and how are we saying the name again, Joe? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Odon?
Odon are standing there, and now we're going to get into initiative. Juice, they are within the 4 that are remaining are within range.
Then yeah, I'm gonna try and stab a couple. Or stab one at least.
Well, I was gonna say they're in. Yeah, okay. So one's gonna come in. So you go ahead and roll an attack.
I think I did it. 46 combat. So yes, I did it.
All right. So you hit. So go ahead and roll me a d6.
Oh, a 1.
A 1. All right. So that is enough. That is just enough to drop it into a drop it a level. So as one of them comes charging in, Brett, you feel like a little pang of I don't know, maybe pride as you see Albert like hold his ground with his little spear and like hold it out and let the beastman run itself onto the spear a bit. And it twists out of the way. It doesn't get hit too bad, but it definitely got caught. So now it is going to be Laura's turn, who's not in combat. So it's going to be the beastman's turn. Oh wait, no, it's not. Huh? Oh yeah,
Wait
Laura.
a minute. I wanted to do something.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna look out the window up to Bert on my roof and be like, "Are they beasts, dear?"
Seems so.
If I give him a dose of beast bane, would that work for these guys?
I don't think you'd be able to do that in the context of combat. You'd have to like climb up there. You could go up there and then give it to him on the next round.
All right, I'm gonna go inside and start slowly climbing up the ladder.
All right, sorry. Bert, you can go and then the beast will go. So you get to loose an arrow before they start trying
All
to
right,
hit
and
people.
I'm going to use 2 of my action points to aim,
All right.
reduce that 20% or 20 point negating, so I'm back up to 54.
All right, sounds good.
And I'm going to shoot at the one that he started the stab, so I can at least, hopefully drop that one.
All right, go ahead and roll an attack.
18.
18 definitely hits.
And then it's 5 plus a d6.
Yep, 5 plus a d6.
And what does finesse do?
Finesse, I've already accounted for that
Okay.
in your sheet.
I did a whole 1, so 6 points.
6 points. Oh no, that is it takes the hit, but it doesn't move down a track.
Now I'm even more upset because the kid did something and my arrow didn't do shit.
All right, so there are 4 of these guys. So they are going to spend one of them is going to spend his action point attacking. 2 of them are going to attack Juce. We're going to start with the first one. He's going to attack with his spear.
Okay.
Oops, that was the wrong dice. He just barely hits.
Okay. What is the dodge and parry? How do I use that?
We forgot to talk action points. Yeah, because you attacked, but you didn't do anything else. So you have an action point.
Okay.
You have 2 action points, most likely. So you can go ahead. You can use one of your action points on a reaction to try to parry this attack. I have 1 level of success. I rolled a 57 with a 55. So if you roll pretty well, you'll be able to parry this attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to do that then. 49. So yes, I did it.
Oh yeah, you have it ties, which I'm gonna say goes to you. Okay. So you managed to parry this attack. It's now going to try to like spit at you, to try to like spit in your eyes to blind you so the other one can hit you. So this is going to be a perilous stunt. And let me check what the difficulty is. I think it's just a straight up like contested combat roll again.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll. I'm just going to say that's what it is. So let's go ahead and roll a contested combat roll. So I'm rolling for a 45. I made it by, I got 2 levels of success.
Yeah, I didn't make it.
Okay, so you now, this thing like gets up in your face and spits at you, and you now have saliva in your eyes and are blinded for the other one to come in and hit you. No, he rolled really poorly. Not critical fail poorly, but really, really close.
That's right.
What would be a critical fail?
Doubles that fail, and a critical success are doubles that succeed. Criticals aren't that big of a deal in this system. Really, the bigger deal is rolling a 6 on your damage. But essentially, a critical success on an attack means it cannot be parried or dodged. It's going to try to trip you, Juce. So this is going to be you're going to roll in athletics, I believe. That might be my D&D talking, but go ahead and roll in athletics.
Dang it. Nope. 65 over 47.
All right, you are knocked down, but they have all attacked you, so you are now prone. So you're gonna have to spend action points to get up your next time.
So am I taking peril conditions as well?
No.
Okay.
No peril conditions. You are just more exposed for damage currently, but the other 2 are going after Joe. So Joe, fire hardened spear coming your way. That just barely fails. So you managed to duck out of the way of 1. It's going to try the same spit sort of thing. So I need you to roll a combat test. You don't need to roll. It failed.
Oh, okay.
So then the other one's going to attack you. That is a 7. So that definitely hits you. You're going to take... You're going to take 9 damage.
Okay, so that puts me over the threshold.
So you go from not unharmed to lightly wounded.
Lightly wounded, okay.
There's no penalty for lightly wounded. So this spear like digs into you like a couple inches on one of your arms, and it hurts, but it doesn't impair you at all. And now it's going to try to knock you backwards with its shield. It's going to try to shove you back to separate the 2 of you so they can gang up on Juce, who's on the ground. So go ahead and make me an athletics check. Oh, never mind. Critical fail from my guy. He rolled an 88. So I'm going to say he actually slips and falls in front of you is now. Like he slips on unsure ground and he's on 1 knee now in front of you. And with that, Joe, it is your turn.
Can I just shoot him in the head with my pistol?
I believe pistols can be used in close. I might be crossing systems here. I'll say, especially since he's like kind of dropped down. Yeah, go ahead. Make a
Okay.
standard attack.
I'd go rule of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm supposed to beat. I think I tied with a 56.
That hits then.
Okay.
So it is on the ground. So you get an since it's prone, you get an extra d6. So roll your d6 twice.
So 6, so 11.
11 damage.
Yep.
That so did you add the thing? Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you and you didn't roll any sixes in there?
No, 2 3s.
So that is enough to slide it down to lightly wounded. As you fire into it and you take a chunk off and you take like one of its horns off, but it didn't seem to like penetrate the skull.
Okay.
All right. So now it is back up to Juice. Juice,
All
you're
right.
on the ground. I believe you need to spend 2 AP to get up.
Okay, and how many AP do I have? That's action
You have
points?
3 AP at the start of every round.
Where is that at on my sheet? I meant to ask you.
It's not on your sheet.
Gotcha.
I sent
Okay.
a separate thing
Gotcha.
to you that lists the stuff that you can do. I'm actually pulling it up myself. 'Cause
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't have that
Okay.
open.
So then, yeah, I'll get up, and then the one that knocked me prone,
Yes.
I want to jab my spear and go for just under his jaw.
All right. Go ahead. Oh, real quick, are you doing a called? You will not. Okay, yeah. Just roll regular attack.
Oh, okay. I didn't make it. I rolled a 66 or 67. I mean,
I will point out that each of you have 1 fortune point that you can choose to re-roll.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, you just understand. You are giving me a re-roll down the road.
That's okay. I failed 69.
All right, so you do not. So it is 2 AP to get up and 1 AP to attack. So you are out of AP. So your turn is over. Laura, you are now next to Bert. Are you giving him the special concoction you've made?
I am, but let me just confirm that knowing it's Beastman, I would have grabbed the Beastbane, not the not the one that works against mutants.
Technically,
or
within this system,
supernatural.
Technically, within this system, beastmen are mutants, and you would have known that, so you would have grabbed the right thing.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna hand him a little vial of Blackroot and tell him this is 1 dose for your arrow. Shoot him with it, and then I'm gonna go back downstairs.
He's just like, here, take this. That we'll say that's 1 AP to assist, and then you can
Go back downstairs.
hustle back down to your thing to like just go back down and be like, all right, sit in my room.
Yeah, no, once I've done that, I'm just gonna keep getting things ready. But so if you hit him with that, if he's subjected to a dose, it immediately causes the creature to be unable to use reactions for a minute.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, well, so then I will
Nice.
use one of my action points to reload. Because
Alright.
it says AP to load.
To load your arrow. Yep.
Then I'm going to use one of the action points to take 10 off. So I need under a 44.
Yep.
And I got a 27.
Nice. So who are you shooting at? Are you shooting at the one attacking Juice or the one on the ground in front of Joe or one of the 2 unwounded ones?
2 unwounded.
All right.
That's much better. I got a 5 plus 5, so 10.
10 damage. Very nice. All right. So I'll say, Juice, you have gotten up, you've attacked one, you missed, and then you see an arrow just come out of the night and bury itself in the shoulder of one of them. And it kind of like hisses in pain. And that one has no reactions now because the poison that Laura gave it, toxin that you gave it, is now coursing through its system. The Beastmen are going to attack. First one against Juice. 29 is going to hit. Juice, you have no AP.
Nope.
Because you had to get up. So that one is going to do damage. I rolled 1 damage. That is 5 damage.
That doesn't work because I'm a 6, I think, right? Or
I
am a
believe
5?
you're a 6.
Oh, damage is a 5.
5, so you slide down 1 thing to lightly wounded.
Okay.
Yeah. So you also have a something go like dig into you. And then it's going to maneuver, and it's going to try to like move around you a bit. And I believe, or it's going to hustle past you to try to get to Joe. But I believe you get like unlimited opportunity attacks or something like that.
I do. I get to attack.
Yes, you do.
If
And
they
that's
move.
0 AP.
Okay. So,
Yeah, any movement action. So it attempts to maneuver, thinking that it can maneuver with you, and you catch it moving.
Yeah, I missed 93.
93. Oh boy.
So I'm like, oh crap, he's moving, and I flail my spear and it just whiff completely.
The other one's going to try to attack you. Nope, not a hit. It's going to try to shove you away from the dwarf to try to separate you two. Also, wow, an 87. So no, you like lock shields with this thing and push it back as you're a lot stronger than it expected. Joe, one of them, the one in front of you is going to stand with 2 AP and then is going to try to hit you with its spear. And it is not going to hit you. The other one is going to maneuver around behind you and try to stab you with its spear. That one's going to hit. And that's going to be 6 damage.
Okay, so that's 1 above the threshold.
Okay, so you now go down. You were lightly wounded?
Yep, so I'm down
You
to
are now
moderately
wounded. I need you to roll a d6.
4.
4, you're good. So you move down to moderately wounded. You get stabbed in the back, and it really, really hurts. But you are okay. You don't get an injury. All right, so that's their turn. Joe, it's your turn. I'll point out, if you don't like being enveloped by these guys, you can spend some AP to try to move out from between them.
Yeah, I was going to, I think, spend 2 to maneuver
Yes.
out of the engagement and then move back towards where the more professional-looking hand cannon guys were.
Which they have moved back, and they are reloading. You see, they are pretty much finished reloading and are setting up another volley.
Okay, I'll move back towards them.
All right. So now, with the end of initiative and it having been 2 full rounds, they are going to fire another volley into these. They're hoping not to hit Juice, so I'll roll an accuracy test for them to make sure that they don't accidentally hit dear old Albert. Ooh, they rolled a critical success. So no, they don't. And I'm going to drop all of them one level for this. As Albert, you're like facing them off, and you hear another crack of gunfire, and you hear bullets whiz around you, and you hear impacts around you, but nothing happens to you. As you see all of them rock, there's blood in the air, but you seem to be fine.
Except traumatic. That's pretty traumatic for a young kid who hasn't seen combat, really.
Welcome to hit something.
Welcome to Warhammer. All right, go ahead, Juice. It is now your turn.
It's my turn?
Yes.
Okay, so I almost feel like I'd be stunned because of the shot that just happened.
You want to roll? You know, we can roll a quick willpower test if you want.
Yeah, I think that needs to
roll
happen.
A resolve test. Do you have a level of resolve?
I don't.
All right, roll a resolve test.
Crit fail.
Crit fail. You freeze up at the sound of gunfire and bullets around you.
So yeah, I just kind of stand still with my shield and my spear, like, because I don't want to get hit by the next, set of bullets. So I stop. I
believe actually this fits in perfectly too. I believe I don't know if I put it on your sheet. If I remember correctly, you have Fortune's Wheel is your oh no, that's somebody else. Never mind. That's somebody else has Fortune's Wheel. But I'm gonna give you your fortune point back for that because you crit failed on something that you didn't have to do for character reasons. So you get a fortune point back.
Cool.
All right. So Albert has frozen up in the middle of all that gunfire. But they're starting to look like they're kind of hurt. Laura. Another volley cracked out, but there are 4 beastmen still fighting with this ragtag bunch of militiamen. What are you doing?
I'm back inside making sure I have band-aids and laudanum and blood leeches set up.
Excellent. So, all right.
They're definitely gonna need band-aids and laudanum, I can tell.
Yeah.
Some of
true.
them will.
Yes. The dwarf's going to need some laudanum. He's going to need all the laudanum. Bert.
I'm going to shake my head and go, damn kid, I knew he didn't have it in him. And spend 1 AP to reload, aim, and go for the same one that I hit the last time.
All right, roll an attack.
41.
41. That hits, correct?
Yep.
All right.
I got a 6.
Oh, roll again.
And a 4, so 15.
15 damage. That drops him. Now he is grievously wounded, I believe. Yeah, he's grievously wounded. He goes 2 sliders down. So he gets to roll 1, 2. Oh, he got an injury. Yeah, so he's injured. So we're gonna say like it goes into his shoulder, and you see one arm just now hanging limply, and he starts kind of looking around to see where the arrows are coming from, and starts backing away. As it is now the Beastman's turn, that one is going to use his action points to back off and remove himself from combat, as he is now seriously injured and has a useless arm.
Thanks.
So there are only 3 of them left. They're all going to close in around Juce.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Ooh, and they get to flip to succeed in packs of 3. So it was nice knowing you, Albert.
It's okay.
Ooh, you know what? That's a fail either way. So we're going to see about the other one. Oh, that's a critical success. So you cannot parry this one. This one's coming through.
What about a fortune
that's gonna
point?
be 8 damage. So I believe that drops you to moderately wounded.
Yeah, I'm 2 down.
So roll a d6.
All right. 3.
3, you're good.
Okay.
We're going to go with one last attack. Oh, man, they rolled really poorly. Wow. That's
rubbing
that's
off
good
on
for
him,
you.
Albert.
Huh? Yeah, he actually like makes a good show of it. He takes 1 serious hit, but he is flailing, keeping them at bay. One of them is going to use a perilous stunt to try to like chuck some dust in your eyes, and that's going to work. So you now are not only in addition to be stunned, you can't really see.
Okay.
All right, so we'll come.
What would that
Joe.
mean for my rolls, by the way?
I'm going to add some difficulty to it because I don't actually know what that condition does to you, and I can't find the spot in the book on the fly.
Okay. No worries.
So, all right.
Blinded.
Yeah.
So blinded cannot counterspell, dodge, or parry until their next turn.
All right, there we go. Thank you. Oh, it's in the other sheet I sent you guys,
the
right?
combat sheet.
Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, you are blinded.
Okay.
All right. So, Joe, you're up.
Okay. I guess I'll holster my pistol, pull out my stiletto, and then run up to one of the creatures around the kid, and then try to stab it.
All right. Do we want to say you want to spend 2 AP to charge one of them?
What would that get me?
It gives you 2 times your movement, and you get to add an additional D6 if you hit.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Like they said, dwarves are gifted on long distance. Dangerous sprinters.
It's gonna hit.
Hit. All right.
And then the
It had an AP. So what? How much did you succeed by?
Oh, by 1.
By 1. It failed by 3. So you
Is this
still
the
hit.
one that can't take reactions from the?
No, that one ran away.
Okay.
So roll your 2d6, and you get to roll 6s again.
It's a 1 and a 4, so 10.
10 damage. Ooh, that's
Yep.
still pretty good. So you gather yourself and go charging in, and this thing holds its shield out, but it holds it too high, and you shove it out of the way and drive your blade up, and it is going to slide down the tracker into severely wounded, and it's going to have to roll a no injury, but it's still bleeding quite badly.
So I'm guessing on the D6, is it 5 or 6 and they're injured, or
It's a 6.
Just a 6.
And the further you go down the track, the more D6s you roll. All right, so Juice, it is now your turn.
All right. So, can you attack more than once?
You cannot, but you can do what's known as like a perilous stunt. You can try to knock a weapon out of their hand, or knock them to the ground, or shove them back, or any sort of those sorts of things.
Okay. No, I'll just continue to try to spear the guy on me.
Okay.
Let's go for the one that actually hit me.
All right.
I can't hit anything, I don't think. What did I roll? I can't even see it. I did hit. 29.
29. All right, that hits.
And I rolled a 4 on my 6.
All right, so you rolled a 4 on your D6. Hold on, let me see what you're... What are you adding to that?
Plus 1.
It's your spear?
It says 6 plus 1d6, so 10.
10, nice, very nice. So that drops it down. That one is now severely wounded also. That one is not taking the injury, but it is also bleeding quite profusely. Laura, you're still getting things ready in your house. And Bert?
Well, I believe there's 2 still up and Adam, correct?
There's 3 still up and at him. 2 of them have received pretty serious injuries at this point. Or serious hits, I should say.
Okay. The one that still looks uninjured or still has willpower to fight, I'm going to do what I've been doing. So
all right.
minus 10 from it, aim, and then also that'll be my 3 for the attack.
All right.
And I really missed.
All right. So this is going to be one arrow that you, was it a critical fail?
No.
Okay, then I'll say
90.
you watch it bury into the dirt like a good 10 feet short of your target, and you're just like, shit.
Damn arthritis.
The Beastmen's turn, they're going to kind of you see, especially the 2 injured ones, their eyes flick to the 2 they're fighting, and they flick back to the gun line that's reloading, and they kind of look off to try to see where those arrows are coming from. And I'm going to say they're going to make a hard willpower test, so minus 20% to stay in this fight. Ooh, they succeed. They're staying for one more round at least. So, Juice, coming your way. That is going to be a hit. Juice, you attacked, correct?
Yes.
You didn't do anything else, right?
No.
You can then use an action point to parry this attack.
All right, I will do that.
Even though he's blinded?
Am I still blinded?
No, the blind ended at the beginning of this turn.
Okay, so it ends at the beginning?
Right. So I failed. I had a 96.
All right, so this hits you.
You were still blinded.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was gone, but it wasn't.
I rolled a 1 on damage, so you take 5 damage, which I don't think exceeds your threshold.
I think that's my exact number.
Oh, okay. So are you now seriously injured or seriously wounded?
That would be 1, 2, 3. Yes.
All right, so roll me 2d6.
5 and total of 8.
Okay, no, it's just if you roll 6s.
Oh, okay.
That's all we were looking for. All right, so let's roll one of them for the willpower test for the other one. He fails. He's gone. So we have one sticking in the fight, and then the other one that has less wounded. He really fails, so he's gone too. So there's only one sticking around. The other two bugger out. Joe, you watch this one continue to fight, thinking the other 2 are there, as the other 2 just kind of slowly back off into the darkness and Homer Simpson it into the bush as the one is just continuing to fight.
Does it look like the battle line is ready to fire again?
They're getting ready to fire. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, then I'll just kind of put a hand on the kid's shoulder and maybe start pulling him back and use the not disengage, it's maneuver.
Yeah. And we'll say that you also use your other AP to assist, so you're like kind of pulling him back out of combat.
Sure.
So that can
And
be
then
your turn.
Yeah, and then just kind of like tell him like, get down for the next volley.
Yeah, and then we'll say the next volley cuts into him, and with that many guys firing at one target, I'll say it hits. So that one also takes a pretty serious hit and then starts limping off. And the night goes, there's still crying coming, like there's still screams and braying coming from like off in the distance around the other side of the town a little bit at this point. It seems like they've wrapped around, but it seems like you guys have cleared your particular area. Though you see the firing lines like back to the town, back inside the walls, go.
Yeah, I'll drag my injured self inside with the kid.
All right.
I'm actually going to stop as you guys are coming by the house. I'm going to be like, hey, bring him in here.
Yes, of course. Let's go.
Yeah.
Start taking him wherever he's showing me.
Is it Keisha or Kirsha?
Kirsha.
Kirsha. And I'm going to pound on the roof. You got incoming.
Door's already open. Come on in. And I have a table set up with places to put people and bandages and laudanum and such. So how badly injured are they?
He's more badly hurt than I am, so I'll make sure he gets seen first.
No injuries, though? Just wounded, right?
No injuries, just wounded.
And I'm going to drop down and see if I can help at all. I've been in the war. I've seen some stuff.
Do you have training in healing?
Not at all.
Then you cannot help.
I can be emotional support.
You can be emotional support.
I need emotional support.
I'm going to go up and put my hand on your head and be like, that's why we don't play war.
I'm not playing. I was in the thick of it.
I noticed.
So
if I recall correctly, I'm looking this up real quick because I all of the rules went out of my head as soon as we started playing.
I already have the healing stats up.
If I remember correctly, you can go up one track a day with a successful heal test.
Okay. If I'm looking at this on page 267.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Is that what it said? 269 maybe? I can get them up one a day with laudanum and then another one with bandages.
Oh, okay, yes, that's true. So yes, you could get them up 2 tracks if in this day if you want to use laudanum and a track. They will suffer 1 corruption.
Yes. Do they?
Yes, they do, but that's not going to matter so much for a one shot. So go for it.
Oh yeah, that's with the laudanum. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're both at least moderately wounded.
Yeah. I'm seriously wounded.
Well, I can't get you up 3.
Okay.
So you both get a vial of laudanum, and then I'm gonna bandage each of them. If he was seriously wounded, the laudanum takes him to moderately wounded. So I'm gonna have to roll for him on the. I'm gonna have to roll for him on the bandage.
Yep. So go ahead and roll a heal test.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh yeah, no. Bert doesn't have training in medicine, so he can't really assist. He can like hand you bandages and clean stuff, but he can't like provide mechanical assistance.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna smack Albert in the head when he tries to spit out the laudanum.
Mm-hmm.
I assume I just spent like 4 rounds of combat setting up. I have stuff right the fuck
Yeah, no,
here.
I was gonna say there's actually that's true. Go ahead and you can make this a routine test, which gives you a +10.
He was
because you've been
moderately wounded. It was already routine.
Oh.
Page 268.
Yep, no, I see it. Then you can make it an easy test. For all the amount of combat you spent preparing for this, you can add 10% to whatever it is.
All right, so that was it's a 21, which is well under what I needed.
Okay, so you really quickly bandage him up. You find the puncture wound in his arm and in his back, and and you quickly, stuff them, clean them out, and, give him some laudanum. And when he tries to spit it out, Bert just smacks him in the side of the head, and he swallows the rest of it.
Okay, no infections. You guys don't need bloodletting. All right, I'm good.
Now, happily, this was the only Beastman variant that doesn't threaten infections. So, be careful with that for the rest of the game.
Go ahead and throw some leeches on this one too.
I'll just put them in my little pouch. We'll keep them. I don't want them to get full. And then, so Odon, the laudanum brought you up to lightly wounded. Okay, then I can automatically succeed a bandage test on him to bring him up to unharmed.
All right.
Perfect.
So
you both get a corruption from the laudanum.
Yep. Corruption's up at the top. If we were playing a longer campaign, it would matter, but there is that sliding scale. This is if you're watching this and never played Zweihander, this is a really cool RP feature of this where your alignment is two similar aspects of your character. And as you slide down corruption or order in it, there's not mechanical penalties. It's just as a role player, you're supposed to reflect that aspect of your personality, in the sense that I believe, for instance, Juce, your characters is duty and fatalism. And you slide slightly towards fatalism than duty, whereas
I'm not cut out for this.
Yeah, whereas Brett, you have the rather
and rebellion.
Yeah, the independence and rebellion.
I didn't get hurt, so I don't slide anywhere.
Yeah, you're fine. But it's a really cool aspect that I think in a long-term campaign would be awesome to play with.
Yeah,
it forces you to role play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that assists with role playing but isn't also mechanically punishing is really cool.
I agree.
All right, so you guys spend a couple hours. You spend a few hours treating these wounds. This is easy work, but it's time-consuming work. And the sun is just starting to poke up when you finish. And the gates of the town have been reopened. And you see people kind of waving in anyone who hasn't come into the town during the rest of the night.
I'm going to look to Kirsha. That kind of usually indicates they want us in there, but I'm not going to tell you to leave.
You do see a detachment walking.
They usually come out to see me when they want to talk to me.
And when you say that, you see a detachment walking towards your house.
See, here they are.
And
Such nice boys. They don't make me walk that far.
You see a rather distinguished looking dwarf at the head of it, very finely combed beard, very nicely braided in very elegant clothing, with a retinue behind him. And you immediately, anyone who lives in the town immediately recognizes Nullback Iron Brewer, the head of the town council. The town doesn't really owe allegiance to anybody, which is somewhat of a rarity in these parts, not totally unknown. So Nullback is as close to a town ruler as you get in this town. And he comes out, and Laura, I'm sorry, your character's name again?
Kirsha.
He says, Kirsha, we need to talk.
I assumed we did. None of your boys were hurt last night?
Thankfully, we were able to treat the injuries we've seen. Unfortunately, the more serious ones were not able to be treated. This is quite bad. This hasn't happened in over a century. Do we know what happened?
No. Do you know what happened? I was asleep.
No, as far as we know, nobody has broken the arrangement.
I can guarantee you somebody's broken something.
I was going to say, so hold on. Can I... In D&D, it's insight. I don't know what it is here.
Scrutinize. It's under perception.
Thank you. Can I scrutinize him?
You may scrutinize away.
All right. And so with
Are we able to do it even though we don't have the skill?
Yes. This is so...
We don't get the 10 plus 10.
If there's no asterisk next to it, it is a basic skill and anyone can perform it. If there's an asterisk, it is a skill that needs training. You can try it, but it's way harder if you have no training.
That's why I shouldn't have tried to heal him and poke my finger in the wound.
Yes, you can actually make it worse with a bad heal roll.
I definitely critically failed that.
Oh, okay. Well, he's really being truthful.
I got a 13. I don't think he is.
You actually do think he's being truthful. He looks utterly confused and shocked. He's just saying that nobody's broken the arrangement.
When you say nobody, what do you mean by nobody? These are definitely beasts. They're beastmen. They're
Nobody from us, dear.
He kind of says, he looks around and says, it's going to be more common knowledge now anyway. Kira's predecessor made an arrangement. Kirsha's predecessor made an arrangement with the denizens of the forest. Not the beastmen. We do not consort with the ruinous powers. The
other ones.
The elves. I was just a boy at the time, about 100 years ago, when we were suffering many attacks from creatures of the forest, and we came to an arrangement with them that we would no longer log their forest. We would not put blade into living wood, I believe was the term. Is that correct?
That's correct.
No blade would be put into living wood. And as a result, no creatures would be tolerated to pass through the forest towards us. And if I remember correctly, an elven lord staked his life on this.
Well, I don't think these were elves.
No, but the elves hate the beastmen. They hate them. They would not tolerate them to pass unless the agreement had been broken. We need an emissary.
Or unless something happened to the elves.
Well, in either event, we need some information. Day has come. The beastmen have withdrawn, but they will most certainly return tonight. We will draw everyone we can within the town, but Kirsha, we need you to go into the forest. We need you to parley with the elves and determine what has happened.
Yeah, let me grab my stuff. I go back in and start putting my bag together.
You will likely, you likely need some form of protection. I'm going to keep the militia protecting the town, but
No, I've been in the woods. It's okay.
Kirsha, you can't go by yourself. I mean, can we ourselves go?
No Black looks at Albert and goes, "Yes, take Albert. He'll be great." And you know what? You should definitely take Bert for the real stuff that you run into.
Hey,
Bert, are you okay with this? Yeah. And who's this fellow? Who are you?
Udon Deep Shaper. Nice to meet you. My services are for sale as well.
And I'm sorry, are you new to town?
Yes, passing through. Sellsword, highwayman.
Well then, we'd be happy to cover your expenses for this trip. And he kind of like loosens out his pouch and takes out about like 9 silver pieces and goes like, "What do you think about this?"
And without even looking at him while he's doing that, I'm like, make sure you subtract the price of laudanum and a bandage from that.
Oh, we'll cover your expenses.
But perhaps you didn't recognize my name, Udon Deep Shaper.
Make it
quite well known.
Make a charm test and remember your silver tongue.
It's a 19.
19. All right. Does anyone want to roll? If anyone wants to roll a really quick scrutinize test on him just for funsies.
I'm not paying attention.
Okay.
I got an 81. He sounds like
yeah.
he's a good
He says,
guy.
"Oh, yes, of course. That name.
The Von Mauer kidnappings.
The what?
Not ringing a bell.
Of course. He turns and looks at the other. You're like, yeah, of course. He's like, how about 2 gold pieces? I'm forgetting the name of the imperial currency, but this is like more fucking money than you've seen in years.
That'll do.
Yeah. So very well. I assume in advance is fine.
Yes, that is preferred.
Just bring come back.
Hold on. We have to do this for free and you give him 2? What the?
Oh, you will be your your he's like, there will be and he says that's fair enough, and he digs around and he takes out similar money for all of you. He goes, and of course there will be benefits for you in town if you save the town as such. This would be a great service. Just keep her safe and find a way to parlay with the elves.
I'm more worried about what happens if they piss her off.
While they've been talking, I've started walked out the door and started walking to the forest.
All right. Also, you distinctly notice that Albert has not been paid.
I'm gonna tap him on his shoulder and be like, "Let's go, kid.
Okay.
Call it a learning experience."
I will hesitantly go because I mean, being hurt the way I was earlier and feeling like I almost got shot and all that stuff, I'm starting to second guess this militiaman thing.
Yeah, this might not be the life you were looking for.
Yeah, not for a 5'5", tiny human.
Hey, you're strong as hell though.
True, I'm hardy.
Yeah,
You're
but you are
wiry.
like 4 inches shorter than me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm short. I'm starting to wonder if
Oh,
I'm not
no,
made for this.
Joe, you were the one that you're actually strong as fuck.
Yes.
You're really strong. All right. So you guys start making your way into the forest. It's a tricky forest. It gets really, really dense very quickly. The sun is blotted out extremely quickly. The Drakewald has a terrible, terrible reputation in the Empire. It is one of those forests where you stick to the roads. Though,
We are not anywhere near the road, are we?
no, you guys have gone firmly off the road. The presence of elves is a bit interesting to be mentioned, as anyone who isn't Laura, you've never heard of elves really living in this forest, at least this far south. The elves all live in the far, far south, beyond the mountains in Athel Lauren. They don't live here. So this is a bit unusual. And I'm going to need a navigation roll to find your way. So you guys decide amongst yourself who is making the navigation roll. I'll allow
1, 2, 3, not it.
Is anybody trained in navigation?
Yo,
I vote for you.
good.
So you go into this forest on a fairly regular basis, just hunting and gathering dry wood, right?
Me?
I was gonna ask if I can do anything with survival to figure out the best path, or is that gonna be navigation?
That would be navigation, but it can be a routine test for you, which means you add 10% to your skill.
Okay. So I need under a 60. And I get a 59.
All right. Well, it takes you a moment. The paths in this forest are tricky, and you're feeling it's a little bit stressful, but you manage to find your way into the deeper wood, following a fairly safe path. And
At least I think it's safe.
What'd you say?
At least I think it's safe.
Yeah. And as you guys continue on, do you guys say anything or do anything as you're moving down this very dark, threatening-looking forest path?
If anybody looks at me carefully, they'll notice I look a little afraid. My guy's probably just kind of looking all directions, worried about his flanks the whole time.
Every so often, I'm going to try to lighten his mood by, asking him, so what do you think you could have changed about rushing in headlong and tactics-wise of how did you get hit in the back? Just trying to keep his mind occupied instead of worrying.
When he says stuff like that, I probably think, well, first off, if you hadn't have bailed on me. Second off, if the dwarf would have had a better cover of my back. Like he's not owning up to it.
You did see those things flying by your ears driving off the other beastmen, right? So I had your back.
You talking about the muskets? Yeah, I saw that.
No.
I felt it too as it grazed my hair.
Well, that's your other tip. don't stand in front of a firing line.
All of the advice that he gives to the kid, I'm just gonna like repeat as though I had just come up with it myself.
Just in a much more elegant way with your silver tongue.
Of course.
After maybe half an hour of listening to them do this,
Yes.
I'm going to pull Albert up next to me. Be like, it's okay. Boys play rough. You'll be fine.
I feel like a child.
I'm going to look at Odin and be like,
I am really old.
Mom's spoken. Or in that case, Grandma's spoken.
Fine.
So you guys are getting about an hour into the forest.
This is
And,
deeper than I usually go.
You start hearing like a large crowd, like a gathering up ahead.
Can
Do you
I
want any kind of
tell
awareness
what
rolls?
type
or
of
anything?
gathering?
Yeah, you can make, if you guys want to make awareness rolls, I think that's what they're called. Yes, awareness rolls to determine what is up ahead.
So I think I got a critical because I got an 11.
Yes, that is a critical. You are highly.
I got exactly the number I needed to
All
the
right.
nose.
Failed by 2.
Failed by 2.
I failed by 2.
Okay. So I'm assuming Odon and Albert are still kind of chatting, but also looking like, what's that? Kirsha like locks in on what appears to be a large group of beastmen off in the distance. You can see them in flashes in between it. Bert has like dropped down, moved around, and you can see it is the beastmen, and the celebration from a successful raid is ongoing. They appear to be drinking. They appear to be eating what is left of the captives that they took, and engaging in all sorts of revelry. They appear to be quite drunk. And if you might be able to move around them if you're cautious.
You said these are beastmen?
These are beastmen. They're having a wild party.
And I put my fingers up to Albert's mouth and look at Odin and be like,
Okay.
Okay.
I think we can get around them, but I'm not 100% sure that we have the stealthiest of approaches.
Let me really quickly check skills, but I think this would be a survival skill to determine the stealthiest path around them through the wilderness. I feel like that would be a survival skill. So let's say it's a survival skill.
Okay.
So roll me a survival check, Bert, to see if you can make your way around this group of beastmen.
Got a 44, which still is good.
Okay, so that's a critical success. So I'm going to say that everybody now gets to roll an easy stealth check. So plus 20% on your stealth to attempt to sneak around this group of beastmen.
I'm just going to let everyone know I got a 92.
You have a fortune point to re-roll.
That's you're telling me I should use that now, huh?
You can if you want to.
I will use that now. It's 21.
So-
Much better.
There you go.
14 out of 65.
Nice.
Because
19.
I'm now trying to hide in rural environments.
Yeah, Bert, you get your rural since
I have a 98 that I have to roll under.
Hey, sometimes you just get the auto succeed. 100 always fails.
Oh, yeah. Well, luckily I got a 61. So
There you go. All right, Joe, what did you get?
I got a 19.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are able to, as you slink by, and it is a quite a raucous gathering of beastmen. And they are drinking, they are devouring those who were captured.
they are dead, correct?
yeah,
The people, they're not
The
eating.
people that were taken are dead and being
Okay.
eaten, and it is now transitioning. And they seem to be slowing down a little bit as they seem to be getting tired. But you make your way past them around through the forest. And you start getting into a quieter section of the woods. So now I'm going to need another navigation check to kind of determine where the heck do you think the elves are going to be? This one is going to be slightly harder. We're going to say this one's a minus. This is challenging because you've never been this deep in the forest before.
Well, unless it's, adding to my number. Yeah, I got an 89, so.
Oh, yeah, no. So you are now a little bit, you're a little bit lost.
I don't know these trees.
The forest seems to change at this point where it almost seems like a path that you follow. When you turn back to check, that path has disappeared behind you. It seems like almost the trees are moving in around you at times. As you move through, you catch glimpses that look like almost like faces in the trees. And then when you turn to look, they're gone. And you guys are staggering around when you hear, cutting through it, a bit of feminine laughter.
I'm looking right at Kirsha.
I'm not laughing.
It's not me.
Do we think that's good laughter?
We look at the dwarf.
Yeah, we all turn at the same time and look at the dwarf.
You guys see at the base of a tree what appears to be a human woman in a very sheer clothing sitting there saying, "Oh, hello. I don't see many of you coming this deep into the woods."
Greetings. We are looking for the name of the guy who I totally know.
Quillen.
Is it Lord Quillen?
She goes, "Oh, Lord Quillen, I can
Yes.
absolutely help one of you.
What about the rest of them?
I
One
can
of
help
us?
all of you. I would just, it's a discussion of what you will give me in return."
Ooh, I don't like this.
Our thanks.
It's a simple deal. We can think of something simple, like, I don't know, your firstborn?
Oh, I really don't like this.
She looks at you like, you're quite young. You don't have a child yet, do you?
None that I know of.
Well, my firstborn's already 40, and I don't think you want him. So let's just move along.
Oh, but you need my help.
No, we don't.
You're clearly lost.
No, we aren't.
You clearly are. Roll a deception check.
Is it deception if I don't think we are?
Yeah, because you guys are pretty lost. That would be a guile, I believe, to lie. You're trying to bluff this thing into like we don't need help. So roll a guile check.
All right.
Oh, I got a 20.
31. That is under what I needed by 20.
She goes,
Mine is too.
I see. Well, then, I suppose none of you will be needing my services if, you don't need help. And if all of you have firstborns, I suppose you won't be needing me.
I don't think I'll ever have a firstborn. But
If you were to want to make our journey slightly easier, I suppose we could give you something nominal. I have this bottle bomb here that I could trade you.
Bottle. What could I possibly use a bottle bomb for? What could you have to trade with me that would be worth my time?
Oh, these are a lot of fun. You could cause a lot of havoc with these.
Roll a charm test, but it's going to be challenging because you're making a deal with a fae. So
Yeah, I know. All right. Where is charm? Is that in fellowship?
that is in fellowship. It's something you're really, really good at. Totally great at.
I am not. And challenging means minus
10.
Okay, so critical fail.
All right. Yeah. She goes, oh, no. And she looks back like, again, I'm more than happy to carry the child if any of you want to sire one. There's this pause.
Is she attractive?
She's very attractive.
I'm gonna just break out cackling.
Yes, I was gonna say, Kira, you know what a bad idea this is.
My character's so young and innocent that he probably is afraid of it.
Yeah.
I'm a grizzled old grump, but I want to roll willpower to see what the hell.
All right.
Damn it. I got a 29.
You resist. And you hear another voice cut in, a deeper male voice going, I wouldn't recommend making a deal with a dryad. And the woman turns and goes,
You're not part of the deal, are you?
Lord Quillins, you're no fun at all. I had one of them, I'm sure. The dwarf was on the hook.
A little bit.
She just like melts back into the tree. And like you see her skin become barky and like jagged as she melts into the tree and just disappears. And you see a humanoid figure with very like high cheekbones and a narrow chin and long blonde hair, with kind of like green leaf bark inspired kind of like armor, but definitely metal covering him, and a bow slung on his back. And he says, welcome to my forest. I am Quillin, highborn of the Twilight Court, and I know why you have come. And he looks right at you, and I'm
Kirsha.
God.
And I'm gonna do like a little bow, like one of those old lady I can't really bows, but I sort of nod my head bow.
Says, yes, I know why you have come, and you have the aura of one who bears an agreement. Have you inherited the agreement from the other that I spoke to summers ago?
I have.
Then, technically speaking, my life is forfeit to you. If you wish to claim it, I will not resist, but
I feel it would be much more helpful if you were to just keep stopping the beastmen.
I would like to propose a counter deal, as it is us who have broken our arrangement with your village.
Indeed.
Can I ask why?
I would like to, yes. So
don't want to just forfeit
yes.
lives before we find out why the hell this happened.
My apologies. The young always with the why.
It's quite all right. Laurelon Forest to the north is a stronghold of our people. It pales in comparison to Athelorn, but Laurelon Forest is a stronghold of ours, and the Twilight Sisters have set up court in these forests. I am acting in their stead as Lord of Glades, as they are away serving our queen. When we first came to this forest to reclaim it, discovered many beastmen, many corruptions, but we also discovered the soul pods of tree men. We thought extinct outside of Athelorn. We cultivated those soul pods we found, and we grew a generation of tree men in this forest and are attempting to grow another. Your people came very close to, we'll say, coming across the grove that we were using to grow the young tree men. And we came to this arrangement to stop your cutting of wood that could endanger these young creatures in their growth. The beastmen, they outwitted us in our distracted nature of other events in the world conspiring, and they took the glade from us, but they hold the soul pods and the saplings hostage and forced us to break our agreement. We came to a new agreement with them that we shall not inhibit them so long as no harm on their part comes to our saplings. None of that includes you. If I tell you how to get to the grove of saplings, and you can induce them to break their agreement with us, it doesn't need to be serious, but if they harm even a single leaf on one of the saplings, we can come crashing down on them like the waves of the ocean. If you do this, if you trick them somehow into harming one of those saplings, we will purge the beastmen from our woods and from your meadow.
I don't actually understand why you didn't purge them before if you're capable of doing so now.
They captured the grove before we were able to act. They held them hostage.
And that would mean they are harming them.
No, they have not committed any physical harm to them, unfortunately. Believe me, we have we have searched for a way
Isn't
to
the biggest harm a stopping of your freedom? Holding them hostage, that would be denying your kind their freedom.
There is a clever one amongst their bunch who worded this very carefully. You must be wary of him. He appears to be some sort of shaman. But if you can trick them into even accidentally hitting one of these saplings, we will be able to act. But we are bound by our word. We are better than they.
Yet you went against your word against our town.
And I was prepared to offer up our collateral in that deal. I am still prepared to offer up that collateral in my deal. If you wish to claim my life and go back to your town and let the beastmen ravage it, then feel free. If you wish to accept this new bargain, we will purge the beastmen from your meadow and protect your town. The old agreement will go back into effect. If new stipulations need to be added, considering what has happened, we will account for that. Oh.
So he broke an agreement with us. Now he wants to break his agreement with the Beastmen by having us do it for him.
No. Hardly. None of this breaks the agreement with the Beastmen. The Beastmen would be breaking their end of the agreement.
But you're betraying them.
No,
you don't sound very trustworthy. I point my spear at him.
Our deal with the Beastmen mentioned nothing with third parties. And
that being said, I believe there will need to be a compensation made to our town because you did go back on that deal. And while we are graciously allowing you to keep your life, we are yet further doing you a favor, and there must be a recompense made for your failing to honor your previous agreement.
Yeah, what she said. And
the elder is correct, or your elder is correct. Compensations will be made, and we will be happy to negotiate them in good faith after this situation is resolved, as I believe both of us are operating on a very limited time frame here. Also, Juce, I believe Joe's internet connection appeared to have dropped, so I think our overlay is out of whack.
We'll see if I can fix it. Ugh.
Hopefully he'll be coming back here in a second. Oh, I have a text from him. Let's see what he says. Yeah, he says his internet just dropped out, so he'll be back in a moment.
Okay, it should pop back in when he comes in. Should.
All right. Okay, so we'll give it a second, and we'll go with the funky overlay for a second.
Yeah, no worries.
All
Unless
right,
you want to take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, you want to take a... So let's start with, are you accepting the bargain?
Yes. Of course we're accepting
Very
the
well.
bargain.
And we will set a date before the next full moon. We shall meet, and concessions will be made on behalf of the Twilight Court towards your town for our breaking of the agreement. It was under duress, mind you, but we broke an agreement, and recompense will be made.
Lovely.
So
you're pretty words and all that, but how the heck? I almost just slept with a tree.
I mean, you could still sleep with the tree. I think she's right here.
Many mortals have fallen prey to the allure of the dryad.
And we're supposed to outwit...
Not sleep with the trees.
Yes, I would highly recommend it. They birth red caps who then seek and kill out their father. I would really strongly not recommend that.
Good to know now.
Yes,
How is that going to help us with outwitting somebody who you even said is very clever?
Oh, the beastmen. There's one amongst them who is clever. Deal with him first. I would advise. He's the one with skulls around his neck. You'll know him.
Super.
Yeah. All right, we got Joe back.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was weird.
Right. Internet happens. So, Juice, are you good continuing on? If
Yeah,
our
I'm good to
overlays
continue
all
on.
back into place.
I'm good. Yeah, I'll get comfortable
cool.
again.
So then he will lead you to the grove of saplings, of treeman saplings. You do pass by on the way there at least one towering tree that appears to stand on two legs and like has a face that turns and watches you as you go by. And Quillen says
Never
that is
logging again.
Quillen,
You are
Quillen
never
says that is
logging again.
that is Mossback. He is one of the firstborn of our first saplings in here. It is a miracle beyond belief that we have found tree folk outside of Athelloren. This is something we value above all else. So it is
It is
deeply
a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
and he has like a groaning, like wood shifting and like also wind passing through leaves noise comes out of him as he kind of inclines his head at you.
Oh, that's so nice.
You called that nice? That was terrifying.
He and his ilk are standing by to protect their young once the arrangement has been broken on the beastmen's part.
You
Can't
do.
they do the breaking? He seems like he can break some stuff.
No, we cannot intercede whatsoever, but if a set of humans and a dwarf were stumbled into the glade, then we would not be responsible for that at all, and that would be a dispute between you and the beastmen. And if one of them were to harm the saplings during that dispute, then the agreement would be broken. And well, that's where we're at. And with that, he just kind of shoves Albert through a bush. And Albert, you kind of stumble through this.
Okay.
And like ping off a tree, and you're not quite in a clearing, but you see a clearing full of youngish trees.
Are they shorter than me?
Around them. Huh?
Are they shorter than me?
Oh yeah. Some of them are. Some of them are getting there, but it's like, it's spring. It's spring in the Midwest right now. People are planting trees, like the planter trees people put in their yards when they want a new tree. They're about that size right now. You see 4 of the human-sized beastmen with the small, kind of like not quite there horns yet, standing there. You see one thin, frail one with a, well, not frail in comparison to another one, with a like a necklace of like goat and human skulls around its neck, and a large, tall staff. And you see one large one towering with a large axe and fully grown horns. This one looking more akin to a minotaur than a human with goat legs. And they're kind of like stalking about, looking impatient as they are standing about. They are, the 4 smaller ones are dispersed about. The large one is kind of just pacing back and forth up the center of this grove, and the shaman is standing towards the center of it all, just kind of looking contemplatively at the forest.
It's a beastman shaman?
Yes.
And I'm by myself? Or they're all
I mean,
in the
you're in a bush, you can see this, and like, but they have not seen you yet.
Okay. I'm gonna step out and like stand in front of one of these young trees.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, "Hey, you big dummy!" And I'm trying to get the attention of the big Minotaur-looking one.
They all look over at you, just like head snapping around and look confused. And the shaman-looking one kind of like looks over you and just like you see him sigh, and he looks at the big one and just like gestures, like dismissively at you. And this one's going to like paw the ground with its foot,
okay,
and then start running towards you.
As it's running at me, I'm going to say, I'm not going to let you hurt these young tree saps, or whatever the heck they're called. And as he gets closer, I want to just bait him into jumping out of the way.
Let's see. What skill would we make that? To like bait him into doing something stupid?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say a guile test. Give me a guile test.
All right, what's that under?
That is under
I see
fellowship.
I see. I'm not skilled.
Is it possible to try to kneecap, like almost fire something at him to trip him so he falls on the sapling?
I got a 13%, by the way.
What did you say?
I got a 13%. So I
13%?
crushed it by 30%.
Okay, so we're going to I'm going to remove his blitz trait where he gets an advantage for charging because he's just like charging you full. It makes him more likely to hit you. So we're going to reduce that. And then Bert, you can take a shot at him and we'll see if we can reduce his chances of succeeding on this attack even further. And if he fails, we'll see what happens.
Okay, so what would my called shot or whatever?
Called shot is 2 AP, and then I believe that reduces your ability. So called shot is 2 AP, and I believe you have to take 20% off your skill to do it. So if you wanted to use your other 1 AP to aim to put 10% back on. But it cannot be parried and it cannot be dodged at all. So let me double check that.
Well, I still have my fortune point, so.
Called shot is and you add a 1d6 fury dice to that. Hold on.
I add a d6 to my skill roll, or?
Yeah. Oh, no, you add a d6 to your damage if you hit.
Okay. Well, I do hit. I got a 25.
All right, so you get to roll 2d6 on that, and it cannot be It cannot be dodged.
Okay, first one is a 1. Second one is a 2. So I did.
You need new dice, man. When's your birthday?
So what did you say it was?
I got 8 points total.
8 points total. It hits the knee and it buckles a little bit. It doesn't seem to move it down. It doesn't move it down a track because this is a big motherfucker. But now I'm going to reduce its ability to hit you. So now it's going to be knocked down a bit because it's going to take a big old swing with this axe. Juce, were you saving anything to parry?
I want to dodge because I want him to hit the tree. It's not as good as my parry, but I'm hoping I can make him hit the tree.
Parry skill is for melee stuff, so you can say that you try to like actively like get the tree in between you and it.
Okay.
Using a 3 to
I'm gonna set it at, instead of a 65% to hit, it is now getting knocked down to a 40% to hit between the guile test and the arrow in the knee.
Oh, for him to roll?
Yeah.
But I can parry it if I want to.
Yes, you can.
Oh yeah, I got it. 47.
47. Well, how many levels of success is that?
Out of 65. So on.
Ooh,
18.
well, I'm gonna use one of my re-rolls that you guys so kindly gave me to try to succeed on this attack because I rolled exactly enough to succeed. Oh, I still fail. So you manage to duck behind, and the axe blade digs into the tree, and you hear the forest just start to, like, you hear the creaking of wood and the wind blows through, And you see the shaman now eyes open wide in absolute terror and lock in on Albert. Like, you're going to fucking die.
I told you not to hit the trees. The
So,
whole reason
Laura-
we're here is to stop you.
Uh-huh.
Laura,
Yeah.
it is now your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna take little bottles of black root and hand it to all the guys standing next to me.
Nice.
So that's a toxin. You each have one dose you can apply. If you hit them with it, it stops them from doing reactions.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that's multiple action points to hand it to everybody.
Yes, we'll say that's multiple action points. So that's your turn.
That's my turn.
Bert, we'll say this is now your turn in this action of combat.
Well, I'm going to place it on there. And I'm guessing we have not made a friend of the Minotaur, so I'm going to shoot it at that bastard.
All right. Go ahead and take your shot.
I got a 76. I missed.
All right. Were you aiming?
Even with aiming, I missed.
Okay. So yeah, your shot goes wide with your bow and arrow. Do you want to reposition or do anything else?
Can I try to stealth?
You can, yeah, we'll say you can try to hide and move off in a stealthy fashion. We'll say that's the rest of your AP.
Okay. Wow. I think I actually failed a stealth roll.
Ooh. Even with your plus 20 for rural situations?
Yep. I got a 93.
Yeah, you definitely fail. You see the Minotaur watch you as you move the entire way.
Don't keep looking at me.
All right, so we're gonna say that the smaller ones are looking around in the forest, and the shaman is shouting orders, and you see them start to fan out in like a defensive spread as they are preparing for an attack. But you see the shaman like reach into its cloak and pull out what appears to be like a crow with its wings tied to its side, and it takes a blade out and just slices its head off and says something. And it's going to make a quick incantation test. So how do I do that for this guy? Incantation is a plus 10 from its intelligence. Oh yes, it succeeds big time. And appearing in the air is around all of you. All those who are caught within the burst. How big is the distance? Yeah, I'm going to say all of you are in it. Crows just start appearing out of the air and start attacking you and pecking at you and clawing at you. And all of you take, oh boy, all of you take 10 damage.
Ouch.
From this Feast for Crows spell that it is now cast on you.
So then mine would be +6. So is that 1 level or 2?
If it's 10, you drop 2 levels.
Oh, I'm
One level.
Huh?
10
oh, sorry. What's
is
your
one level.
If your thing is, what's your second level?
It's my threshold's 4, and then it's 10.
Oh, 10?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so 10 it ties, so you drop 2 levels.
I'm moderately wounded.
So roll a d6.
Did not get a 6.
Okay.
Got a 5.
Welcome to the club.
So you're moderately wounded. Juice, you drop 1 level, right? You
Yep,
drop
I'm
to
at moderately wounded.
Yeah, so roll a d6.
Because she didn't heal me all the way.
Yeah.
I got a 5.
So, okay, you're fine. Laura?
I just got to lightly wounded.
Oh, right. You're all right. And then Joe.
I'm good. I went to lightly wounded. My second threshold's 11.
All right, perfect. So now, the Juice, I didn't let you go at the top of combat.
That's okay.
We kind of played that out at the beginning. So we're gonna say the Minotaur and you have already gone.
That's
so
fine.
The Minotaur's not gonna get another swipe at you. So we're gonna go down to Joe, and then we're gonna go back to you being at the top of the order, Laura, Brett, Beastman, Joe after this. Okay. So Joe, you go, and then we're doing regular order.
How far away is the shaman?
We'll say the shaman is hold on. What's the shaman's like 15 yards away.
So my pistol is 6, 12, and 24.
Yeah, and of course I didn't look up what ranges do. So I'll say it adds 10% to the
Adds
difficulty
10?
each level. Yeah.
Okay, then
that's
I'm
what I
going
did. That's what I did
to-
earlier in combat.
And I'll use 2 AP points to take aim.
All right.
So that adds 20.
All right.
So down 10. Okay.
So you're
I'll
gonna
take
fire.
a shot at the shaman. It's a 21.
So that hits.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
So now roll your damage, and gunpowder weapons, you get to roll again if you roll a 6 or a 1.
a 5. So
All right.
10 damage.
10 damage.
Yep.
That drops him 2 thresholds. So he is moderately wounded, and he does not take an injury. So you see him, like, his shoulder whip back after you pull the trigger. There's a loud crack and smoke. Your position is given away, but you have definitely wounded the shaman.
I'm going to try to duck behind a tree, take cover behind a tree.
Take cover. All right.
Yeah.
So Juice, you are now 1v1ing a Minotaur.
Yeah, I quickly tell him, like, your shaman's about to die, dude. And I kind of point with my head as I lunge my spear at him. That would hit, I think, 37. Yes, 37 under 45.
37
55.
under 30. 37 under 45. He
Yeah,
is
55
not
'cause
parry.
I'm skilled.
He attempts to parry it, but he doesn't. He swings his axe down and mistimes it. Go ahead and roll damage.
So I rolled a 5 on damage plus 6, so that's 11.
11 damage. You drop him a threshold.
Awesome.
You move him into lightly wounded.
Good deal.
You did something.
Yeah.
I'm good at doing something. Have we not learned this by now?
All right. So that was 1 action point.
Okay.
Do you want to, I don't know, disengage from this fucking thing?
Yeah, and I think I can do that without giving up. I don't.
Oh,
provoke.
actually, you don't need to disengage.
Yeah,
You can just,
I don't.
you
Provoke.
could spend your other 2 action points. Oh no, yeah, you could spend 1 action point to move your thing. I would recommend also taking cover so this thing can't charge you again.
Yeah, I'm gonna take cover behind another one of the trees.
All right. So
The living
you are
ones.
going to spend 1 action point to hustle, and it cannot take the opportunity attack because of your guerrilla warfare trait.
Correct.
And then you are going to take cover so that it cannot charge you. And you also gain, I'm going to say for this, you gain +3 to your damage threshold based on
cool.
this. So you take cover. This thing is going to try to follow you.
Sure.
It is not going to charge because it is it has been reprimanded for fucking up. So it's going to try to do this more precisely. It's going to come up and it's going to roll an attack on you. That just fails. I'm going to use my last reroll. That hits.
Can I parry?
And you are out of action points, so you cannot
I
parry.
used them all. Okay.
Yeah. So you are going to take 10 damage as this thing swings an axe down
Minus
into you.
3, right?
-3. Or no, your damage threshold goes up by 3. Yeah, so subtract 3 or add 3 to your damage threshold, whichever one.
Yeah. Okay. So it just dropped me 1. So I'm down at seriously wounded again.
So you need to roll 2d6 now.
3 and 1.
All right, you are still not injured, but you are now hurting a little bit taking on this thing by yourself. Laura.
Okay, so everybody is just being damaged currently.
Yes, we actually missed. You guys rolled so well. We missed the thing that was going to instill a bunch of peril on everybody.
I'm very upset at you, and we'll talk about this later.
I'm sorry. I thought that was going to be super cool too, because I thought you guys were going to fuck that up, but you guys did really well.
I'm very upset at you, and we'll talk about this later. Okay, so seeing as how the one thing I was actually good at is not something we're dealing with, I'm going to do something crazy and stupid because I am old. So I see the one attacking Albert.
Yes.
I am going to go up to it. And with 2 things of smelling salt in my hand, I'm going to shove them under its nose and make them take 2 doses of smelling salt, which imperils them.
Which imperils them? Ooh,
Yes.
Ooh. All right. So how do we
Basically
determine
just
peril from this? Does it say?
Your bony figure.
What was that?
You went up to him and poked him in his chest with your bony finger.
I did. But so it says if you inhale 1, it moves you a step up the peril condition. But you can only do that once in 24 hours, and inhaling more than 1 during that period has the opposite effect. So theoretically, if I can get him to inhale 2, then he gets imperiled.
We'll say make a combat check, but we'll say it's plus 20, because all you need to do is get him to like inhale.
Right. I don't know. I'm just going with anything because the one thing I thought I was doing, I'm not doing.
That's fine. That's fine.
23. So that is a combat that is 2 under.
All right.
Or
So
20 under.
He
So
he used his AP going after someone else. So that succeeds. He slides down a peril threshold. He now has -10, I believe, to all of his skills, including attacking. So he is less effective at attacking. That was, you hustled, I'm assuming, to move. And then
that's what I needed to do to get there.
Yeah, so you're kind of stuck there.
Well, do I still have 1 AP to hold on to parry?
You have 1 AP to parry.
I'll hold on to that to parry.
All right. So, all right. Bert, what are you doing?
I'm damned impressed that she just did that to that big old minotaur. So I'm going to hustle.
All right.
Is taking out a weapon
free action?
It is a free action. Okay.
Yeah.
So as I'm hustling up, I'm going to take out my flintlock and use my last action point to aim and take a shot really close to the the minotaur.
All right, go ahead. Take a shot.
I got a 3.
That works.
I like that one.
All right, roll damage. You re-roll 6s and 1s.
Yep. I got a 1.
All right.
Another 1. A 6.
Whoa.
And a 3. So 16.
16 damage drops it 2 levels. So it went from lightly wounded, moderately, seriously wounded. So it rolls twice. Hey, we have an injury finally. We haven't got a chance to roll on the injury table, so fuck it. I'm rolling on the injury table here. Let's see exactly what you did to this thing as you dash out of the forest and basically put your... How close did you get?
I was going to be near as point blank as I could be.
All right, so you're just going to like run up and put your gun like right next to... Let's see exactly what you... That's not the right spot. Hold on. Let me find the injury table super quick. It is page 269. So roll a D100 while I'm flipping through pages.
13.
13. Seems like it should be really good. Hold on, that wasn't the injury table. Sorry, guys. This is new system, and I feel like I've avoided the frantic page flipping thus far in the game, but we have arrived here. So let me find the injury table real quick. But we rolled a 13. I don't know if high or low is good in this system. I guess we're about to find out. Actions in combat, no injuries, infection, bleeding. Where's the injury table? Yeah. All right, we're going to say you blow its kneecap off. So now we're going to say that it is going to require, if it's going to move, it's going to take all of its AP to move. That's the ruling I'm making.
I'm
So
cool with it.
otherwise it is stuck in place as you have blown its kneecap completely open, and it is now basically operating on a single leg. So now on the Beastmen's turn, the forest explodes outward as smaller tree creatures, more like human-sized, come out and start waylaying the smaller human-sized ones, and you see two of the huge versions. One of them you recognize as Mossback comes out and just like crushes one with his hand and starts moving inward, and these other smaller ones are being quickly overrun on their turns, but the two remaining are going to try to do something to you guys. The shaman is going to disengage and try to get the hell out of there. The minotaur looking guy is going to take a big old swing at one of you.
I'm going to be pointing
Juce,
towards the shaman,
Huh?
to all the woodland creatures.
Yeah, Juice. I rolled a 33. You can't dodge or parry this one.
Okay.
So, I rolled a 1
For damage?
Man, you might
Bring
actually
it.
live through. You might live through this, Juice. You take 9 damage.
I am grievously wounded.
All right, roll 3d6.
5, 4, 3.
3. You don't take an injury, and you. Oh, thank you. You have successfully avoided taking an injury, but you have taken a deep axe cut on this one, and you are stumbling about. You are on death's door, and you feel it. So, now, it is Joe's turn.
I'm just gonna get as low as I can up against this tree and start reloading my pistol.
Yeah, it takes 3 action points to reload your pistol, correct? Yeah, so you spend your turn reloading your pistol. Juice, this thing can't move very well.
Oh yeah, I'm killing him. It's gonna happen. It's gotta happen, or else I'm gonna die.
You
And
got
that's
to do
okay.
something right.
Spear in the face. That's close. 48. So I beat it by 7 points. So 48.
7 points.
And then damage.
It parries you.
It parried me?
It parried you. It rolled a
Oh,
12.
you son of a gun.
Yeah, it had 1 AP. It had AP left, so it knocks it aside.
All right, so I'm gonna run and just get out of his range.
All right, you're gonna maneuver out.
Yeah, but I'm gonna start running.
Oh,
yeah,
you ignore
move.
opportunity attacks. No, you hustle.
Yeah, I'm gonna move out of range completely. Yeah.
All right, so you bleeding and battered, just like pull away from this thing as it swings again, and you just easily duck it and slide out of its range. All right, Laura. This thing is clearly badly wounded. It is not able to move, and you see the shaman trying to slink off into the woods.
So I sort of want to throw one of my bottle bombs, but I looked it up and it doesn't really say what that does.
We'll say
It's a bomb.
It's
roll
like fiery, but it's
bomb,
ineffective. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but it's also volatile. So I'm like, I don't know what this
all right, so I know what those things mean. So
Okay.
you roll a combat simple ranged test to see if you hit this thing.
I can totally do that. That's a thing I can do. What do I have to do to aim? Can I aim?
Yeah, you can take 1 AP to add 10% to your roll, or 2 AP to add 20% to your roll. Remember, you are directly next to this thing, the big guy. So,
I thought I was trying to hit the shaman.
oh yeah, you are.
Okay. Is that gonna... I mean, it's a bomb. Like, could I hit both of them?
No, the shaman's moving away. I'm just reminding you that you might be in its range to get hit on its turn.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about that.
Like, fuck it, I'm old.
I'm old. I'm going to go ahead and use 1 AP to take aim. So
All
I
right.
still have 1 left at the end to parry if I need to.
Sounds good.
All right. So that is 10 under.
10 under, that hit. So bottle bomb.
Yep.
Let's see. Bottle bomb is simple ranged. Where is it? So it is fiery, it's throwing, and it's volatile. So fiery, the fiery thing, I believe, means that it can be ignited.
No. Well, then I would have done that before throwing it.
No, I mean like it can ignite the target.
Oh, okay.
A foe struck with this weapon of this quality, both the foe and one other combatant who is engaged with them must succeed a coordination test or be set on fire. This thing does not have a great coordination, and I'm out of rerolls because you guys stopped giving them to me, and it fails. So it's going to be set on fire. The volatile, when you critically fail...
that means I could have blown me up.
Yes. So... go ahead and roll me 1d6 and add your combat bonus to that.
8.
8 damage.
Yep.
And then we'll see what fiery does. So let me flip to the section where fiery is, they detail it. But you light this bomb really quickly with like a little snap of a flint, and it comes on and you chuck it and it shatters on its shoulder, and like flaming liquid spills all down it as it is caught on fire, and it is really, really unhappy about this. It is throwing its arms about. So
See, look, it's trying to set your forest on fire now too.
so how much damage did you do, Laura?
8.
Roll another, so keep 8, roll d10 and add 1.
7.
So 8 plus 7. Because I'm flipping pages. I don't want to do math and flip pages. That seems like a disaster waiting to happen.
Oh, 8 plus 7 is 15.
15 damage. This thing slides. Ooh. Let me really quickly confirm this. This would be hysterical if this is what happens.
Did I totally incinerate it with my
Yeah, so
Molotov cocktail?
You chuck the Molotov cocktail. It shatters down. The flames ignite, and it like starts. It drops its axe and starts flailing its arms. It drops to one knee as it keeps flailing, drops down to a shoulder, and it slowly goes still as you drop it 2 conditions to slain, as it is now dead. And
Fur burns.
Bert, you watch that shaman trying to slip off into the woods.
You go when I say you can go.
Now you don't go at all.
That's my turn.
Yeah, Bert, you're up. You get to you see that shaman now really making it for the woods as the other smaller beastmen, the Ungors, are getting overwhelmed by these attacks.
I thought the shaman was the one I just burned.
No, you burned the Minotaur. You took down the big fucker.
Oh, well, that wasn't the one I was aiming for, but
you
okay.
weren't. Oh no, you weren't at all. Oh man, well, you really fucking killed the shaman then. Like you really killed him.
Okay, I was aiming for the shaman.
Oh yeah, no, never mind. Sorry, I apologize. The
I
shaman
mean, it's
is the one
totally
who does all
possible
that.
I hit the wrong guy and missed, but like,
He
Nope.
explodes in front of you instead.
Sorry, shaman is dead. He drops
okay.
3 with the damage you did. He drops 3 levels.
Okay.
Because yeah, he's not very beefy. But there's the big beefy guy, though his boss has just died. But
Well,
Bert, you get
I nod to Kirsha, and then I take my dirk, and I'm going to try to pretty much disembowel the Minotaur.
I will point out that you clearly recognize its injury and know that it will not be able to effectively chase you if you all back off.
Yeah, but I'm a grizzled old veteran, and this guy's pissed me off. So
All right, he's out of AP if I recall correctly. He parried
Yep.
somebody already. So
that's why I thought
Wait.
I'd go for him.
Yep. So you try to disembowel him.
Yep. So that'd be a call. Well, now
You
if
can do a cold shot. That adds a
Would that be
D6 to your
next?
damage.
but that would he not be able to parry next?
He still can't parry. I will say, given his situation, it's only a -10 to your roll.
Okay. How about a 14?
14 works. So
No.
roll 2d6.
3 and a 6. And
Roll again.
So 12, 17.
17 drops him 2 conditions. So we now have the shaman explodes into flames and slowly flails his way to the ground. And Bert takes out his dagger, guts the Minotaur up the side, and shoves him down to the ground as he stops moving. And you guys all take a pause as the other beastmen are quickly overwhelmed. And you see Mossback just turn to you, and again in that groaning, wind-sighing voice raises his hand to you as kind of
I'm
like
gonna put my hands up and be like, "We're helping."
yeah. He raises his hand to you in thanks, and Quillins
That's thanks.
steps out and says, "Well done. Not only did you quickly induce them to damage it, you took care of the," he indicates the still burning body of the shaman.
You may want to put him out.
I'm gonna
yes,
point at Quillen and be like, "Enough games. Our deal is back. Stop screwing with our town and stop the beasties."
And he turns and like waves to the smaller tree, like woodland, like wood folk, and they turn and immediately head out into the woods. He goes, "The other beastmen will be dealt with before nightfall. They are
Right
deep
back.
within our territory. They," he's like, "and they, we'll say overindulged a bit the other night, the earlier today. So they will be easy prey for the trees. You all have done phenomenally." And he turns to Kieran. He's like, "It was the next full moon that we said we would meet by, correct?
That's correct.
Let's get our houses in order, and then we will meet and discuss further terms."
Of course. The standard meeting places last time.
"Yes, of course.
Lovely.
The waystones will light your way out of the forest, and you see at the edge of the clearing a rune-inscribed stone at the base of the tree suddenly start to glow."
You'll, of course, pardon me while I tend to the injuries that I can.
Naturally. And he turns back, and they start inspecting the sapling that was injured in the fight.
Okay, I'm assuming I can't do anything else for Albert because I already did 2 for him. But Bert, you have not been healed at all?
Nope.
What do you need?
Both.
Both. So laudanum and then...
I'm really hurt.
Yeah, he's
I'm
almost
like
dead.
I'm like bleeding from an axe
I'll actually
wound.
say, so
I can only do 1 bandage and 1 laudanum for
not to cut
24
off-
hours.
not to cut off your
I'm
specialty,
screwed.
Laura. But this is the point in which I had picked to end the adventure, as I thought it was going to take us a little bit longer. You guys did phenomenally well. So we have a couple minutes. So this is our first time playing the system. You guys aced a skill challenge about partway through this that I thought was going to result in more happening. Yes, I know.
Gotcha.
You picked a whole spell around a whole mechanic that didn't come into play.
Not even a whole spell. I picked a whole class around the ability to do a spell around a mechanic that didn't come into play because you told me it would come into play.
You Molotov cocktailed the shaman, so you still were there. So really quickly,
You'll get MVP for burning the shaman.
yeah, this system is new to me, and so this went faster than I thought I was going to. But I was gonna say, Juice, if we want to open it up for just like general thoughts so far about playing through on this system.
Yeah.
As a GM, there were a few things I didn't look up, like the range factors.
Sure.
I just kind of like made a call on the fly that it added 10% every time you ranged. I'm gonna look that up for our next game.
Honestly, I think the times, even when you said in game you were making the call, I thought it was perfect. Like rather than waiting an extra 30 seconds or a minute or to find the actual ruling, just making your own judgment, I think worked out fine.
I think in terms of building a game, I think one of the strong points for this game is that was a very set mechanic in the system that if I didn't know what I was doing, I could fall back on that adding 10. Like there was a very clear way to add or subtract difficulty to something. So if I didn't remember the rule, I could just fall back on that, which made it pretty easy to GM that. And I think the issues that we ran into tonight were more my own failings. I don't feel like I gave quite enough social for Joe's character to really come through.
I didn't think there were any failings. I didn't feel like
I feel like we made more of a social character in Joe, and I didn't provide enough social challenge to like really necessitate that silver tongue to come out. But it did come out.
Right.
At least once. But
yeah,
how did
we
you
got
guys
paid.
He got 2 gold to be able to
How did you guys feel as players in this new system? Did it feel pretty approachable?
Because you were controlling a lot of aspects about it, yes. I think it's a fun game. I don't think I would ever want to run it, but I think playing it's fine for sure. I like playing it.
Yeah.
I think the fact that like you have to go to tables in a book and things like that can be a pain in the butt. You know what I mean? It will slow a game down no matter what, unless you have it like on a GM screen or something.
Yeah.
So it's not as quick as I normally like, but it seemed fine. Honestly.
I think too, that's one of the challenges too sometimes with playing online is that you don't have the GM screen with all the stuff up, though. I'm definitely gonna take a screenshot of that injury table for our next game, because man, you guys rolled great on injuries. We rolled like 10 plus D6s and no 6s came up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did at least like 6 or 7 on my own.
Yeah.
That was the only thing you did roll well on, not being injured.
Right.
Brett, I initially, I didn't actually know your first name. I did not intentionally. I randomly generated the name of your character. I did not mean to make it so close to your actual name to be. I was gonna say, I thought you played Bert very well in terms of like how.
That's Brett everyday life though.
Yeah.
Me being a grumpy old war soldier. Yeah. I mean, I'm grumpy, not quite old, but I mean, I'm almost 40, so yeah, I guess that's old.
Yeah. And I thought you when I built him, I was like, all right, like the way I random rolled most of your characters, and the way he felt, like, all right, this guy's clearly gonna hang out on the edges and shoot stuff. And I think you gravitated really quickly to how the AP played out there really well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Lee in the aspect of I probably would never run a game like this, but I had a lot of fun playing it, and I mean, I could definitely play in this system. It just would be very difficult to try to wrap my head around all the numbers to run it, but the story wise, I mean, I was engaged. I can see if I can see my character in a situation like in a game where I'm seeing the burning barn with the firing line, you've done a good job because you painted the picture so I can see it.
Thank you. Joe, I thought you did a really good job. One of the things your character brought into mind, I need to figure out when stress tests are made, because I know you had a mechanic relating to stress tests.
Yeah, my initiative would drop by 3 if I fail one.
Yeah, because you had the lily-livered.
Lily-livered, yep.
Yeah.
No, he's a coward.
I thought you RP'd that really well. I thought you did that really well. And
I
then
felt bad leaving the kid behind a couple times, but I'm just like, it's
he
what
was
do.
built to die. And actually he used the guerrilla fighter trait really well.
Well, I remembered it, but so you had pitched the idea there at the end about going behind a tree. Originally, I was like, should I run and go after the shaman? Like, that's what I was thinking, because I didn't want him to get away. But yeah, when you said that, I was like, yeah, it might make more sense to stay here and just hide behind a tree.
Yeah. But I thought you
Or
RP'd
had
it
the
really
shaman
well.
on lockdown.
And I thought you so Joe, like general thoughts about the system, because I feel like it was I got it from the DM perspective. I haven't played this system yet. So what did you think as a player?
I enjoyed it a lot. It was really approachable coming from the Warhammer system that we played.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from it too, and it feels simpler. It feels a lot simpler.
Yeah.
What's different about it?
I would
say I don't know
best
what's
way
different.
I can put it is that unification of mechanics as a DM, being able to just fall back on one mechanic for like what makes difficulty made it way easier to DM. Because I really enjoy Warhammer 4th edition, but there's a lot of mechanics going different ways in it, and it can be a little hard to like ad hoc it on the fly. So all right, Laura, I know I didn't build in a solid one. This was the classic GM mistake. I'm like, this will happen. They won't get by the massive beastmen. It's like, they rolled outstanding, like all of them. So I can't initiate a chase scene at all. And there's a whole mechanic that we didn't use that imperils people a bunch. But other than my failings, how did you feel this went?
Other than the fact that I didn't get to play with peril at all, I thought it went well. I like the pared down skill list. Especially when compared to Warhammer, there's a lot of skills there. And so it was helpful to know, like, okay, no, when I'm rolling a skill, it's really only one of these handful. There's not like 30 skills I'm looking at. And for the most part, I liked that I was on one page. My character got a little bit out of that because she was really reliant on her trappings. Like, her gear was very much a part of what she was doing because she was a healer. So I was a little bit on the other page. I was a little bit in the book more to figure out, like, wait, what does this potion I have actually do? But if I hadn't been doing that, I would have almost definitely just been solely on one page.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice.
You had 2 of the MVP moments. You smelling salted the Minotaur, and then you Molotov cocktailed the shaman. So,
well, and that was just me sitting there looking at the stuff I had, being like, I don't know what I can do with this, but let's try something, because I cannot sit here for an entire stream and do nothing, because I was not made for combat. I actually have penalties to doing harm to humanoids, and like, I am not made to fight people. And I'm like, that's all we're doing. By the time we got into that last combat, I'm like, that's it. I can't not do anything. So let's throw something at the wall and see what happens.
Yeah.
And they weren't humans, so you were good.
They weren't humans.
Yeah, no, I thought this went really well. Aside from the fact that, again, like, it's just the classic, like, I put something behind a dice roll that I wanted to happen, assuming it was going to happen. And then you guys all slayed the dice roll. And I'm like, well,
was that the stealth checks?
Yeah, the stealth check,
gotcha.
The survival check. There's a chase mechanic built into this book, which, by the way, the core rule book, guys, is like, it's big,
it's fat.
but it's pretty comprehensive. It's character building, it's GM advice, and it's essentially a monster manual all in one.
That's good.
It's again,
I like all-in-one books.
Like, yeah, I've bought a lot of like I bought a couple third-party books at this point of like different systems, and this is one of the better all-in-ones in the sense of, like, I really feel like I have enough monsters in this book to run a campaign plus. As opposed to they give you like a smattering of monsters and then like, make up the rest on your own.
How many pages is it?
Oh boy. Let's really quickly flip to the back
600
page.
and something?
Yeah, it's 667.
Oh, it's one off.
Or no, it's 669.
Oh, it's 3 off. Well, technically a 9 flipped upside down could be a 6 though.
Yeah.
So it is the mark of the beast. You know?
So it's a really good, and so I feel like I have plenty to work with here, and they also give you a ton of tools to homebrew, which I did. It transfers really easy to Warhammer, but also is general enough that you could homebrew your own world into this. I'm gonna.
So this is your homebrew world then.
This is my homebrew version of the Warhammer world.
Gotcha. So you're making your own twist on it.
Yeah, I put my own twist on it, and all that. So, all right, there's a couple minutes left. If we want to go around, just we can finish with you since this is your channel. We'll
it's all good.
Is there anyone that wants to promote anything? I don't know, Laura. You've got Shiny Math Rocks.
I do have Shiny Math Rocks.
Brand
you guys
new
can go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Shiny Math Rocks, where I am learning to cast resin dice. It has slowed down ever so slightly because apparently when your husband and daughter are both home full time, you have much less time to do things.
It's kind of weird that I found the whole lockdown quarantine thing with our 2-year-old. I have more work than I had before.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's weird how that works out.
But I have a new set of molds, so theoretically there will be dice being made soon. So go ahead and check me out. That's it.
And Joe, you're working on a few things to put up online, is that right?
No, I don't have anything to plug.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
All right.
Is your logo like a pink D20 for Shiny Math Rocks?
With shiny lines coming out of it, yeah.
Yes. Okay, because there's another one. Yours has underscores. The other one is just Shiny Math Rocks as a single word.
Mine has underscores.
And that's somebody else. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I'm following you on Instagram now. So I am doing live streams every weekday right now at about 1 p.m. Eastern time. Had roll stats on today, which it was kind of fun. We just talked about RPGs for about almost 2 hours. It's the third one I've done this week where basically I do Q&A. I ramble on about RPG stuff if nobody's asking questions, but otherwise people can ask questions. I'm going to try and bring on more guests next week. Bill Allen from Bill Allen World on YouTube will be on at some point, I think. And somebody else said they were interested in being on it, but I don't remember who that was. So, and Rollstat said he might come on again as well. So there might be 5 or 6 next week streams of that.
Yep.
With one of them being in the evening. I think we're playing Forgotten Throne on Wednesday. We haven't talked about that. Yeah, we haven't talked about it. I know Courtney's been kind of quiet lately. I need to talk to Paul, but we're supposed to play Wednesday, starting season 2, which is great because I prepped this like 2.5 months ago, and I need to go back out and find those notes that I can't find right now.
And then in this same time slot next week, we're playing another. I'm playing another round of Zweihander with a different crew and a different adventure.
Yes, and then I believe, am I still hosting that one? Are we still doing that?
Yeah, I believe we're still doing it here, but you can jump in if you want. I can make you another character if you want.
I'll just produce it again. That'll be cool. So we're doing that Friday, and then Thursday I have a game I'm playing. It's my friend's. We're looking for players on the Discord. It's a post-apocalyptic Wild West game that he created. I know nothing about the mechanics. I know nothing about the game other than that. So he's making some pre-gens, and we're looking for a few players that might want to play at this time on Thursday next week. So it's called, what is it called? Let me pull it up because I should know
West.
This. Yeah, Rad West or something, Rad something like that. Rad World West, or I don't know. I don't remember. But anyways, so we're playing that on Thursday, and other than that, I don't think I have any. I don't know if I want to plan any more games next week.
Rad Wasteland,
that's right. It strikes me as kind of like a Deadlands style setting, if if I had to put my finger on it based on what he said and some of the art he sent me.
The
So
post-apocalyptic makes it sound like it's Hell on Earth, which is my favorite setting of all time.
oh, so you'll really like it then, probably.
Well, it depends because Hell on Earth was the futuristic version of Deadlands.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
if it's Wild West, then yeah, it definitely is Deadlands-ish. So
Right.
which is also another. I love anything Pinnacle, so I'm a Pinnacle fanboy.
Yes, you are. I wish I could be. I like that they put out all sorts of stuff. They have all sorts of settings for Savage Worlds. Yeah, the Shinetar shirt. Nice. Savage Worlds just never grabbed me. You know this. We've talked about it. I wish it did. I really do. Because I bought some of the books. No, it's not you at all. No, I think it's just the system because I played with SPF. I've played it. I've even watched other people play it. There's just certain. I think it's the gimmicks are distracting to me, like the different mechanics, like cards for initiative and bennies, and it's just a lot of different things to me. So that's all. But yeah, anyone have any last words? Anything going on next week?
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thank you guys for playing. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. That was fantastic. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Did a great job. I admit, just like Brett, you did a really good job. So I will always play in games if I'm available that you're running. So, all right, guys, game on, and thanks for watching.